What up? My name is Brad. Welcome back. Today we're jumping in. Now, I've wanted to sit down and talk about a lot of these topics that I've been discussing the last couple of days, or I will be discussing in the future, for a very long time. But this channel is pretty locked to Dragon Ball Legends for a while there. Well, I'm done with that. We're doing whatever I want to do now. So if I want to talk about Pokemon, I'm going to talk about Pokemon. Today we're talking about the top 5 remakes that I really just want. We just had one with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, so we're not getting one for at least another year and a half. I would say minimum. Hopefully some kind of side game, which there's going to be a lot of side games on this list. But let's get in and let's talk about these remakes that just, oh my gosh, if it happens, bro. If it happens. Alright, we're kicking this list off with a very odd entry that I'm sure not many of you guys have played. Now, Pokemon Conquest. This is one of my, if not my favorite side game, for a multitude of reasons. It may have just been a lot of timing, because this came out right around the time Black and White came out, so you have things all the way up through Zekrom and whatnot. A lot of the characters are based on, like, historically accurate characters combined with a game called Nobunaga's Ambition. The guy right above me is Nobunaga. So many things about this game. It looks so rough. When you play it on a 3DS, it looks really clean. At least to me it does, still to this day. I just played it a couple months ago. But it looks a little rough when you play it on a 3DS, or when you play it on like an emulator. It stretches it pretty hardcore, I have to admit. Like when you're going up to a full monitor size from a 3DS. A lot of these games that are going to be on this list are going to be similar vein to this, because we know the main series games are going to get remade. We're all the way through Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl at this point, right? We're through Gen 4. It's gonna happen. Like, I didn't want to just put Black and White on here and be like, yep, Pokemon Black and White, really hope it happens. It's more when will it happen than, you know, is it gonna happen? Of course it's gonna happen. They want their money. No doubt. So, Pokemon Conquest. The entire goal of this game, I'll spoil slightly stuff for you, so if you're for some reason very sensitive to that, with a game that is this old, came out with the original 3DS, I believe, maybe even the DSi. Basically, you're a guy on the left, or you play a girl. I think you play Oichi? No, maybe you're just a female version of that character. I've never played as a girl, so I'm not 100% sure. But, either way, jumping in, you have an Eevee. You can choose whatever you want to evolve it to throughout the story. You gotta beat the guy above me. That's the whole goal. And then you have to meet Arceus. And then, once you do that, you have one playthrough where you kind of do all that stuff. You recruit people, you recruit other warlords with their Pokemon, whatever else. Then it splits off into like 40 different stories. And it's a little overwhelming, to be honest with you. Like the playlist that I clicked on YouTube, there's 217 episodes. About 30 minutes a pop. It's a little overwhelming. So like this guy right here, you see Hideyoshi, for example. He's a prime example of a character that you have to then beat his story, and then beat it again, and you can recruit them throughout different stories. So say I get Hideyoshi in this first playthrough, and I give him Reshiram, which he can get, spoilers. I give him Reshiram. The next time I find him in another story and I recruit him again, he'll have Reshiram. It's a really cool game that combines all these different stories into one thing during the post-game. But it's long. And when I played it on 3DS, I put about 170 hours in about 3 weeks, because I was just kind of, I haven't played this in like 10 years, let's hop in, let's do it, I'm so excited, I can't wait, all that stuff, right? But it was also kind of like, okay, I burnt out really quick just because it's on the 3DS. I got a Switch now, bro. Give me the remake. I would love to say all the way through. I just can't imagine 9 generations, because this will come out definitely after Scarlet and Violet. I can't imagine 1,000 Pokemon in a game like this, but I can on the Switch. So we'll see. This is my number 5 pick. Please give me a Conquest remake. So if at any point you watched my previous, or like my second channel, so I have another channel called Bradical. It was Bradical 2.0. I changed that to Bradical VODs. It just holds VODs for our streams now if we ever stream. But I played a game on the phone, Pokemon Rumble, was it Blast? I don't remember. Whatever one came out on mobile devices. And it was kind of fun. Old school Pokemon Rumble is way more fun than it should be. It is so much more fun than it should be, because it looks so, I love it though. I love the art style. This actually might be the one for the phone. No, because it definitely didn't have your Mii in it. What am I saying? Either way, fantastic game series that got heavily just shat on. It has definitely like a niche cult following at this point. I never knew there was a king. I don't know if that's another character. I saw this when I clicked this gameplay and I was like, huh? Either way, absolutely phenomenal. Love it. It's a great franchise. I don't have much else I can really say about it. You guys see from the art style what it's all about. You got these little tiny Pokemon and their little wind-up toys. So you see the little thing go in the back and like wind them up, and then they just go and they start attacking. You can find shinies. People actually have like a thing called Shiny Weekend or like Shiny Rumble Weekend with this stuff. Like to actually, because that's how much of a cult following it has to this day. It's just a fun, happy-go-lucky, awesome kind of game. And I love it. And I always have, and I kind of always will. Like, I love everything Pokemon, but it stands out to me above a lot of other things that could get a remake because we just need a new one. The most recent, I think, was 3DS, Pokemon Rumble World. I'm pretty sure that's the gameplay we're watching right here. And I think that is the most recent one. I could be 100% wrong. They kind of started to blend together towards the end there, to be honest with you. But you guys can see the gameplay here is awesome. You can just swap between your little tiny guys. It winds the toys up. I love it. It's like I said, it's just a happy little feel happy kind of game. And I like that from Pokemon. Like, I do like the more grim stuff. Like Arceus is slightly grim, right? Where they're talking about death and everything like that. But it's not like that. But you don't have to get in and do battles and that kind of stuff. You're just a little tiny wind-up toy and you're beating up other wind-up toys. Love it. If you've never played these games, you don't have access to a 3DS or you don't have the cartridge or whatever else, I highly recommend you at least try to emulate it because the mobile game shut down. But I definitely recommend it. It's a fun game. Alright, I grabbed Battle Revolution, and arguably, I love Battle. I actually bought a Wii U way back when just for Battle Revolution. Not even a joke. I remember being at Walmart, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, now I gotta buy a Wii. Because I need this. And I put in a lot of time to it. Transfer all my Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl over, played the entire game, beat the entire main story of it. It's a little bit, it's just a battle sim. The reason I brought up that I put this specifically is because I would love Stadium more, but realistically, I just want some kind of battle sim. Like, I want the mini games from Stadium with these kind of animations with modern Pokemon textures. That's all I want, please. Just let me take my Pokemon from Pokemon Home, pop them in here, I can do whatever I want to do my battles, and I can just move them back out. Because that was the biggest problem with Battle Revolution. As far as I remember, once they were there, they were there. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not 100%, I don't fully, it's been a long time since I played Battle Revolution. It's been quite some time. But, either way, I would absolutely love just some kind of battle sim remake. It can be Stadium. You can label it whatever you want to label it. I don't care. It can't be Coliseum, because that's different. But they could remake that, but not for a battle sim. Actually, I say that. That was kind of one of the shining points of Coliseum and XD, is that you could use it as a battle sim. Either way, I'm going to stick with what I said right now. Some kind of battle sim that I can just download on here, throw all my Pokemon in, and I can do that. That's what I want. That sounds amazing to me, personally. What do you guys think? Do you care about battle sim? Do you want, like, I just thought about it on the fly, but do you care about the Coliseum XD, how it would be its own playable story and all this stuff, but you could also use it as a battle sim? I didn't even think about how cool that was, to be honest. I'll tell you this literal moment while I'm speaking to you guys. I think I would still like it separated, personally. Like, make a whole separate game with some clean animations for every single Pokemon, and that's its entire job. Throw some Pokemon Stadium minigames in it. Sell it to me for $60. I don't care, I'll buy it. And then let me transfer my Pokemon over, or give me rentals like how Stadium did it. Some of you may or may not know, but Mystery Dungeon is some of my favorite Pokemon games that exist in general. Not sure what this kid's doing. It's some of my favorite games, and so I'll tell you the older ones. Once XD came out, or DX, sorry. Once DX came out on the Switch and they remade the original Mystery Dungeon games, it was like, okay, hold on. A little tough to go back to the older ones. And it's mainly just quality of life stuff. It's not really the aesthetic, like these games still look fantastic. They still have plenty of Pokemon in them. All that kind of stuff is great. But it was really the little tiny stuff, like I could build a team in DX, and then I could run out and use that team wherever I want. And I'm pretty sure they're going to keep remaking Mystery Dungeons. I was looking through the numbers. I think the biggest problem that Pokemon has is remaking a lot of these, like, remakes, doing a lot of these Pokemon games that they just didn't sell well. Go through and look at the numbers yourself. I highly encourage you to, because that's by far one of Pokemon's biggest. I can see why they're not doing it. Like, I think DX, so it came out right after Final Fantasy VII, middle of quarantine. It had a pretty decent, like, setup to do pretty well, because, I mean, everybody was sitting at home all day, all these Pokemon fans, and I think it only sold, like, 1.2 million copies. And you compare that to, like, Arceus selling 6.5 million in a week? I do get it, but please keep making them. Like, I understand, but if you could just keep making them, I would love it. That'd be awesome. So, definitely Mystery Dungeon. I'm pretty confident we will eventually get these, but I don't think they're top priority by any stretch of the imagination. And that is a bummer, because I actually really like DX quite a bit. I think Mystery Dungeon DX is really, really good on the Switch. If you've never played it, I do highly recommend it. There's a couple shiny Pokemon in it. There's hundreds of hours of content. Quite literally, like 30 legendaries that you can get on your teams and everything. It's a fantastic game. I think it just suffers from being a side game. And it's kind of just... I never knew how much other people didn't play side games. I had no idea. Because I absolutely adore 90% of Pokemon side games. But it looks like a lot of people don't. What do you think about side games? What do you feel about them? Like, realistically, how do you feel? Do you buy them? Because I mean, I buy like every single one. I'm a different type of Pokemon fan in that sense. I don't really like, oh, I'm not going to buy it. Like, people are like, oh, did you buy Diamond or Pearl? It's like, I bought both. Well, what about Sword and Shield? I bought both. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? I bought both. Like, it's like I bought both since I was a little kid. So, I guess I'm part of the problem why Pokemon didn't innovate for so long. Either way, Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky, Explorers of Time, maybe not Super Mystery Dungeon. If they do it right, fine, those ones are great, but we got a long time till those anyways. It took them, 15 years for DX to come out? So we got at least another couple years till something like these come out. But doesn't mean I don't want it. And I highly recommend, if you've never played a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, give it a shot. Even the old ones hold up really, really well. We're at the coup de grace, as some people would say. And this is the top of almost every Pokemon fan's list. I mean, realistically, it actually is. And for good reason. Now, I put XD on the screen. Realistically, I like Colosseum more as the kind of gritty environment. The protagonist Wes is a million times better than, I don't know the kid with the red hair's name, but Wes is a million times better. But XD has all the mechanics that I want in these types of games. The Colosseum was definitely lacking a couple different things in the actual gameplay mechanic type vibe, whereas XD fixed all that stuff, but then kind of took away a little bit of the grittiness, as well as giving you kind of a goober character. Now, when you get to the very last area, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. It's a little old, you should definitely play it, but get to the final area, it is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Like, no. But please, I love Eevee's bowl cut, too. Just give me an Eevee with a bowl cut, and I'm set. I do actually like it. This is the top of almost every Pokemon fan's list that likes the side games. And I want to say XD and Colosseum they're in like the top 3 top selling side games for Pokemon. So it makes sense. They're so good. And could you imagine this on the Switch? Slightly refined. They fixed some stuff. Maybe add wild Pokemon at this point. It's been long enough that it's like we could add wild. There is wild Pokemon in these games, but you know what I mean. You have to like feed them at certain spots, and you get like one a day, whatever else. Maybe they could fix it up a little bit, still make it kind of gritty. I think the main thing is let me steal people's Pokemon. That's the main mechanic that I want. Just let me jack their Pokemon. You mind? Like, do you mind? So that's what I really, really want. That's my 5 Pokemon games that I would just love a remake of. Please. Please. I don't ask many things. I'm not a very greedy Pokemon fan. I'm quite the opposite. I thoroughly am just okay. Actually, I'll let this play for a second. I thoroughly am just okay with how Pokemon has been going the last couple years. But there's a couple games that really just stick out. And I'm pretty sure down in the comment section, you guys will let me know, like Pokemon Ranger and stuff like that. And yeah, those are fantastic games too. Very underrated. But they never quite hit that nostalgia point for me. Maybe it was just the time that they came out. I went through that phase of like, I was in high school when like Pokemon Black and White came out. And I was like, I don't like Pokemon anymore. I went through that, right? So maybe that's just kind of me. At that time, I didn't have that nostalgia formed for these games, right? But Platinum and Heart Gold were like my favorite games forever, so I don't know. Either way, that's my 5 Pokemon games that I could think of, basically off the top of my head, that I really just would love a remake. Doesn't need to be next year, doesn't need to be 2 years from now. But just, if that could be the next 5, I'm in. Hey, by the time I'm 40, let me get these games remade. So I'm going to get out of here. If you do enjoy the content on this channel, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. What's your list? What's 5 games for Pokemon that you can think of right now that you want remade? Let me know down below. And I'll catch you guys around. Follow me on Twitter, Bradical YT. Deuces.